Alright, welcome to the first video. This is the video that we're going to be discussing fear. And we're going to take a look at the actuality of fear and the abstraction of fear, which is the making of the fear into an idea, if you will. But before we can discuss fear, we're going to talk about a topic that was first introduced by the Buddhists. They call it dependent origination. And dependent origination, in a nutshell, is that one, in order for something to come into being, it depends on other factors. Dependent, the word dependent meaning or implying that in order for it to exist or in order for it to come into being, certain factors must take place before it. A perfect example is fire. I'd like to explain it in terms of fire, because in order for you to have the fire itself, you have to have a spark, and you have to have the gas or the fuel that's igniting the fire. Now we're just going to be using this example, the example of the lighter, because it's going to make sense much later. So we have the flame, we have the gas, and we have the spark. If you have a spark but no gas, you have no flame. If you have no spark but you have gas, you're not going to have a flame until the spark is in existence, and therefore the flame is dependent on these two factors. Same thing is with the child. In order for you to produce a child, you're going to need the seed, obviously, the egg, and then the baby comes into existence. But if you have just the seed and no egg, you don't have baby. If you have no egg, you get the point. So now that we understand dependent origination, in the next video, and I have to divide this into two separate videos for the purpose of being able to upload this, we're going to be discussing how fear arises within us, and how we can observe it, and how to end it. Not just end it hopefully someday in the future, but just completely, absolutely be free from it, unconditionally free. And I'm going to be using these props here. These are lighters, to sort of compare the two, between show you a comparison between how fear arises based on this example that I've just given you about dependent origination. If you guys have any questions regarding anything that I'm discussing, and you want to discuss it further or in more detail, I'll be more than happy to. Please leave your comments on the page, and I'll answer them as soon as I possibly can, and as best as I can. So let's get started with fear. We spoke about the spark. In this metaphor, the spark is going to represent the event, the situation that causes us fear. This could be anything, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use sales as an example, and approach anxiety, or this fear that we have of approaching someone. This doesn't mean that this metaphor will only apply to sales, or will only apply to this particular type of fear. It doesn't matter which fear it is that you have. Fear is fear, and it all works the same. So you can use this with pretty much anything. Okay. So let's begin. We have the spark. We see a prospect. We have our product, our sales pitch that we want to present, but we have this fear of the approach. In this case, the event itself is the spark. Okay, we're approaching a person, and they give us a look. For a moment, before the actual fear itself takes over, we have this sense of alert, of being scared, of just momentarily unsure of what is about to happen. So we'll just call that uncertainty. In order for us to feel that fear, and to allow that fear to take over, a second thing has to happen, and that is that we process it, some form of thought, or we access some form of memory that we have in the past in which we've been rejected once before, and that thought sends a signal to our nervous system, and our body reflects that thought. Okay, we have the event, and then we have the thought, that triggers that fear, and then we have the fear itself that takes over that. If you will, it paralyzes us with fear, and therefore we don't act. We just completely destroy ourselves. And in this metaphor, basically, the spark is the event, the gas would be our thought, and the fear itself is the fire. It lights us up, it sets us on fire, and we just go down in flames, or we go up in flames. And we're going to take a look at the lighter itself. We have the lighter. If I can get one to work. We have the lighter itself. We have the gas that's in the lighter, and then you have the flame itself, right? So the flame is dependent on the gas, and the gas is dependent on the spark. But the key lies in the gas itself. Okay, we can't control the actual spark itself. Okay, we can't control. We want interaction with people. We want to overcome this fear, but the event itself, we cannot stop it from happening. And so therefore, like right now, we're sitting. You're probably sitting in front of your computer watching this video, and there is no fear because there's no event, there's no immediate danger, and therefore there is no spark, if you will. The key lies in how we interpret the event and what we do with our thoughts. Now, this past event, it's no longer, it really shouldn't have any power over you. It's already something that happened to you in the past. What we end up doing is we bring the past into the present moment, and then we're fearing, or we're holding an image of what's going on, and we're distorting what is actually happening in front of us, and we're imposing that past experience onto the present moment, and therefore stopping ourselves from moving forward, and we set ourselves on fire. And so I'm going to go a little bit more into detail in part 2, so log on.